2026. I'm Rich Tola, and here's what's cooking for today. Number one, social media, no more. Number two, staycations are back. Well, I think so. And number three, the new thing. No, we're not talking about Michael Lewis's book from 1999 about Silicon Valley capitalism, but we're going to be talking about license plates. Yeah, that's a pretty cool topic. And number four, life lessons from golf. Yeah, talk about the three things that golfers do that you can bring into your off course life. But first, all right, guys, the ABCs. How'd you do today? We got the workout, the sleep, the diet. Well, I had a so workout today. Nothing great, I will say. And sleep, yeah, again, so sleep. But the key is the diet. So I nailed it again. Egg whites, kale, apple, banana, blueberries. So let's talk for a second about this. If you're having trouble nailing these ABCs, what do? Go for the low-lying fruit, no pun intended. But to me, the diet's the easiest thing to focus on because you're putting it in your mouth, right? You can control what you're putting into your mouth. Going to the gym and getting a great night's sleep, okay, a little bit more challenging. There's some sleep aids out there. You guys know I listen to Rain at night. That helps me, but that's more of a meditative thing. But again, start with the diet. If you're having trouble with all three, start with the diet because the diet is the easiest thing to perfect. I think so. All right, guys, let's jump right into this. Social media, no more. I like this because Indonesia, give a shout out to everybody in Indonesia because they're banning social media for children under the age of 16. We did a show on that. I believe that. Australia was the first country. Then you have Malaysia, Slovenia, Denmark, UK are pursuing similar legislation. And how about the US? Not far behind. We have 8 states, including Florida, Ohio, Tennessee, that have passed laws requiring parental consent for kids 15 and under. But we need to go further. I definitely think we got to go further with this, and we got to kind of jump on the bandwagon with Australia and Indonesia to benefit our society. I think so. Because it's getting out of hand a little bit with these the social media. All right, staycations. What are we talking about? Remember, that was a popular word during the COVID era. You see what's going on with oil prices rising. No doubt they're going up pretty quickly. I think oil is going to pump over 120 bucks a barrel, probably today, maybe going to 150, but it's going to be temporary. I think it's going to take a good 6 months, though, for those prices to kind of work their way back. The good news is we're not using as much fuel because the spring and summer months are coming. So what do? This is what I recommend. If you don't want to take these long trips, driving, spending all the money on gas, stay at home, spend the time and money on your family and your assets, meaning your house. Put more money into the house. Let's do it. Let's ramp it up. Not worry about traveling, but if you want to get away, remember we were talking about these mini vacations. You could take a 2-3 day vacation. I'm actually going to be doing that in May. Go back for my mother's 1-year anniversary of her death. But yeah, stay at home, work on the staycations, and enjoy as always. All right, I like this topic here, the new thing. All right, you guys remember this? All right, it was October 1st, 1999 that Michael Lewis wrote the book called The New Thing. I read that book. He also, if you know Michael Lewis, give a shout out to Michael Lewis. He wrote a couple great books that were turned into movies. Moneyball, remember that movie from 2011 with Brad Pitt? I was a baseball player, so I love that. The Blind Side, Sandra Bullock, that was from 2009. Well, Michael was a former Solomon Brothers salesman. You remember this. He wrote his first book called Liar's Poker, and I read that as well. Also read The New Thing, but the year was 1999, and it was the dot-com boom, and I had a company called theaskingprice.com. I tried to disintermediate real estate brokers. We talked on Thursday's show about evolution. Evolution sometimes comes, it's tragic with evolution, but that's what I was trying to do. But let me read you this because this is kind of a cool little, I want to read you something from my book. It's Simply Between Millions from Wall Street to Hollywood. I wrote this 15 years ago, guys. So let me read you this. It's from my chapter Y2K, chapter 40. It says, you may recall Y2K, or year 2000. The Y2K problem came about due to programming practices involving the use of six-digit dates, while many feared it would be the electronic equivalent of El Nino. The world prepared for the worst of computer failures as everyone got ready for the new millennium. In hindsight, it barely made a blip on the radar. After 2 months of back and forth negotiations with the Trump organization, our agreement was ready to be signed. It was 4 p.m. on Friday, December 31st, and Donald Trump had just signed the agreement and was leaving the office. I, on the other hand, was in my apartment on the Upper East Side, 2 miles away. I was told that if I didn't countersign the agreement before their office closed at 5, the contract would be null and void, and Mr. Trump would have to sign a new one after the new year. When his attorney added that he was leaving early because his wife and daughters were picking him up at 4:45, I immediately said, "I'll see you at 4:45." Mind you, it was about 10 degrees outside on the busiest night of the year, and the only chance I had of getting there anytime soon would be to run. So I bolted out the door and hoofed it down Fifth Avenue, all dressed up in my suit and tie. I wouldn't dare show up at Trump's office without it. I made it there by 4:45 p.m. and countersigned the agreement. Done deal. It was a happy new year. Let me tell you, those are some awesome times. No cell phones. I think there were beepers back then, but the moral to this story is anything is possible. I remember that. That was our first deal. I was selling the 52 net leased units of the General Motors building, Trump International, uh, the Trump organization, rather. And I've always been a big fan of Donald Trump. So, hey, I know we're at war. I know this is crazy what's going on, prices, etc. But it will calm down. You have to have faith. I believe so. But on a more positive note, even though it's not really about Y2K, I like this. There in 2026, there's some new license plates coming out, especially in Indiana. Have two of them to celebrate history and to support worthy causes. I like this. Arkansas, Georgia, like I said, Indiana has two. It's got the Fever Fund for girls and basketball and giving back, and then one for conservation, which I'll probably get one of those when I renew. Massachusetts, Nebraska, South Carolina, and Wisconsin. So, hey, if you want to give back, get one of these license plates. I think it's a good thing. And speaking of a good thing, today happens to be, by the way, I just want to say this. The Barbie doll was from 1959. It turned 67 today. I just want to squeeze that in. But again, the new thing, that's an old thing, but a great thing. But anyway, there's some, have some fun with that. But yeah, go spend some money on a license plate, give back, conservation, or maybe it's the Fever Fund for me. All right, how about this? Number 4, it's life lessons from golf. This is like the key, right? Golf was invented over 500 years ago in Scotland, right, along the shores of Scotland, where players used, I read this, they used bent sticks to hit pebbles across the dunes. Now, I am not a golfer. I tried it. Tough sport, brutal sport, right? Great sport, though. Hey, speaking of movies, you want to go watch a good movie. It's, by the way, golf is $100 billion business in the United States. But you want to watch a good movie, go watch The Legend of Bagger Vance. That's from 2000 with Will Smith, Matt Damon, Charlize Theron. Oh, I really like that movie. I actually watched that movie recently. But so maybe the rules have progressed with golf, but it's still the same. You got to hit the ball in the fewest amount of strokes into that little hole. Tough sport, right? Back in the day, Tiger was all the rage. But what are the 3 habits of golf? I think these are great. 3 habits at golf that you can learn from golf, build it into your everyday life. Every high school kid, elementary school, middle school kid I ever taught in these inner cities should be embracing these 3 habits. Number 1, etiquette. What is etiquette about? It's about respect. My favorite word, self-respect, respecting others. Etiquette, embrace the etiquette. Hey, I did a video a while ago about proper gym etiquette. Etiquette should always be embraced. Number 2, patience. Oof. That's a tough one for most people, right? Most people want to go to the gym and see instant results. It doesn't work that way. That's why the ABCs are so crucial for you to do on a daily basis, because over time you will benefit without a doubt. It's about self control. And number three, honesty. Without a doubt, honesty is another great. I mean, I think it's something you got to build into your life. It's about good character. I saw a lot of dishonesty with these kids cheating. We did a show on that too. So take heed from Goff and embrace these habits. It'll make your life better for sure, as well as everyone else. And finally, this is pretty cool because this dates back to 1976. This guy's name was Jim Davis. He was a cartoonist from Muncie, Indiana, not far from where I am here in Indianapolis. He made a comic strip called John in 1976. Does anybody know what that is? Well, 2 years later, he changed the name, actually got the name out of his grandfather, called Garfield. Oh, I love Garfield. I was reading the comic Garfield. I'm telling you, back in 1978, it was syndicated. It was called the Trentonian. We used to get that newspaper. And it was this, this comic strip about this snarky, lasagna loving tabby cat. Everybody knows Garfield. I mean, Garfield's huge. It was actually the number one syndicated show of all time, I think. It was in the Guinness Book of World Records. I mean, loved it. But Garfield's back. Nickelodeon's bringing back Garfield. Hey, love Garfield because it's the antithesis of what you want to be, right? You don't want to be lazy. He's gluttonous. I mean, this cat, right? Then he has the dog, Odie. And then who's the owner? Arbuckle, right? The owner, we talk about John Arbuckle. So, guys, go watch Garfield. It's coming out. It's going to be pretty cool. I mean, looking forward to it. I love when they kind of revamp this. But, hey, congrats to Jim Davis for putting out such an amazing comic and lasted the test of time like Goff. All right, guys. That's it for today, but let me leave you with the 3 Tola takeaways. Of course, respect the ABCs. Number 2, go spend time with somebody. Pick up the phone. I got a phone call last night from one of my moms. Give a shout out to Mary Ann. One of my mom's best friends gave me a call to check in on me. I felt great. Great to hear from her. Go see somebody. And number 3, be willing to accept everyone else's viewpoint because, hey, this is what it's about. You got to accept people for who they are. All right, guys, have an awesome day today, Monday.